morning again from the World Game. I'm Andrew Warsati. Juventus versus Roma is the biggest clash of the season so far. The corresponding fixture in the crucial final stages of last season saw Juve race away to a 2-0 lead thanks to Alex Del Piero and the now departed Frenchman Zinedine Zidane.
Davids with the long pass, here's Zidane in space, and it's 2! This is a magnificent start by Juve.
Juventus needed all 3 points to boost its hopes of snatching the title, but Roma stood tall when it counted most. Japanese substitute Hidetoshi Nakata, who joined Parma at the start of this season, was the architect of a dramatic comeback. He made it 2-1 and then played a part in Roma's equaliser, finished off by Vincenzo Montella.
A draw here for Roma would be a sensational result given the circumstances, and they're going to get it! It's tapped in, and it's 2-2.
Final score 2-2. Today's match is their 137th meeting, and Roma will be hoping to take full advantage of a Juventus side struck by suspensions. Defender Paolo Montero and midfielder Edgar Davids both received 2 weeks for their part in this scuffle away to Lecce in round 4. French striker David Trezeguet was let off after Italian authorities studied the video evidence, but he's been relegated to the bench, with Marcelo Salas earning his first start. Igor Tudor is injured. Meanwhile, Roma's biggest problem has been scoring goals, only 4 in as many matches, although the reigning champion broke through for its first win last week over Fiorentina. Captain Francesco Totti is taking charge now, while awaiting the likes of Gabriel Batistuta and Vincenzo Montella to start finding the back of the net. Juve come into this match on 10 points in a 3-way tie at the top of the table, while Roma's slow start includes 1 win, 2 draws and 1 defeat. Your commentator at the Dell'Alpi Stadium in Turin is Paul Williams.
Juventus will have to make do without suspended pair Paolo Montero and Edgar Davids. They make 3 changes to the defence that kept a clean sheet at Lecce a week ago, with Pessotto on the left, Giuliano and Zanoni returning to join Lilian Thuram. Edgar Davids is replaced by Fabian O'Neill in the midfield. David Trezeguet, perhaps surprisingly, on the bench. So it's a front 2 of Marcelo Salas and Alessandro Del Piero. Del Piero, in particular, in sparkling form. Well, Roma have Zago suspended, so Brazilian veteran Aldair starts instead. It's a cautious-looking Capello 11, no doubt about that. No Montella or Del Vecchio, just Francesco Totti as support for Gabriel Batistuta in attack. Extra beef in midfield then, with Lima coming in alongside Assunção and Tomasi. It's Christian Panucci, the former Inter and Milan fullback, who starts on the right-hand side of the midfield today. Well, it's like Marcello Lippi has never been away from the Dell'Alpi. An absolutely seamless transition as he returns to Juventus. Great start to the season. The same can't be said for Fabio Capello, who really has been struggling to keep his head above water at times. A disappointing start, not just in the Serie A competition, but in the Champions League as well. So his side coming into this match with some ground to make up in more ways than one. The referee is Graziano Cesari. A little touch there between Marcelo Salas and Gabriel Batistuta. Well, it's an early meeting for these 2 giants. Maybe Roma, more so than Juventus, would have preferred this clash to be further down the track after quite a modest start to the season. Juve have barely missed a beat since the return of Marcello Lippi. Despite a number of changes to the team this week, as opposed to the game against Lecce, they still feel a very talented-looking outfit indeed. Lilian Thuram, the major signing of the off-season at the back, has settled in very nicely as well. All things in all, it's a very promising-looking season for Juventus, if they can keep up with the start they've made. That's Christian Panucci just dinking it down the line to Tomasi. It's a back 3 today for Roma. We've got Aldair, the Brazilian, Jonathan Zabina and Walter Samuel, as Gianluigi Buffon comes off his line and gathers ahead of Damiano Tomasi. Roma have the honour of wearing the Scudetto badge on the shirt, as I'm sure we'll see in the numerous close-ups we get of the Roma players. That's what it's all about. It's a long clearance from Antonioli, back in goal for Roma after a disappointing start to the season from their new signing Palazzoli. Perhaps some of Roma's lethargic start to the season blamed on the new goalkeeper. Assunção. Zabina playing it down the line to Panucci. Panucci on one flank, Candelar on the other. Up against Zambrotta and Nedved for Juventus. There's a couple of interesting battles there for a start. But Candelar gave the ball away to Thuram. Now a little bit of room here to stretch open the legs. And an early cross in from Zambrotta, and it came off the chest according to the referee, despite the number of appeals there, strong appeals as well from Juve players. That's a very good cross in indeed. Well, good defending from Christian Panucci that time, as Assunção has the opportunity now to just calmly play the ball out. Robbed on the edge of the area. What a stinging shot that was as well from the Juve number 6, Fabian O'Neill, the Uruguayan. Well, there were calls for handball there against Jonathan Zabina. Salas appealed straight away for it. Zabina wasn't hesitating at the back, but it was a pretty good shot really from Fabian O'Neill. Australians may see more of O'Neill later on in the year. The Uruguayan international, very much part of the World Cup plans. Australia may yet play Uruguay for a place in the World Cup next year. Salas lost out, but Roma take up possession in the centre of midfield with Damiano Tomasi running through. It's a good ball as well for Batistuta. He'll go straight for goal. A fairly straightforward save really for Buffon. Batistuta still waiting for his first goal of the season. We've seen him in situations like that in the past where he's just ripped it past the goalkeeper into the back of the net. But Buffon is no ordinary goalkeeper. This is Candelar. No, it's Totti rather. And a poor cross from him. Normally Totti operates just behind a twin strike force of Batistuta and either Marco Del Vecchio or Vincenzo Montella, but just the two in attack named by Fabio Capello today would suggest a cautious approach to this game. Lima working hard in the centre of midfield. Del Piero's turn was very sharp indeed. He just slipped himself there. Well, there was no contact at all from Lima. Del Piero went down. The referee gave the free kick. Well, defeat to Juventus here would see Roma 8 points adrift of their main rivals after just 5 games. So it's unthinkable really for them to lose here. Juve would be laughing if they could gather all 3 points. It's straight into the two-man wall from Fabian O'Neill. Juve currently top of the ladder on goal difference ahead of the 2 Milan clubs. Oh, that's quite a wild clearance really. Only Batistuta up for Roma. Thuram got to the ball first. Fell nicely for Totti. And that's a brilliant pass from Totti, but the flag was up. Well, he's a player that doesn't question decisions too often, Gabriel Batistuta, so he must have been pretty sure with himself that he was onside. Pessotto saw the ball hit the arm of Totti there, and here is the pass Well, at the instant that it was played, Batistuta was onside, but you must allow just a split second for the linesman to just react. Not much consolation for Roma, though, I'm sure. It's a lovely ball as well, and a good shot. Buffon just parrying it down. Totti this time peeling away to the right, finding the opening for himself, and it's been a good opening for Roma. Giuliano was coming across to close out the shot, and Totti struck it well enough, but again, like Batistuta's a few moments earlier, it was one that never really looked like beating the goalkeeper. And the referee is giving a signal of his own, which says wait for the whistle. That's a deep ball. The player goes down in the area. Totti saying he was fouled. Well, he has something to say to his marker as well, Tacchinardi. The referee didn't see it or didn't take any notice of it, one or the other. Not much gets past Fabio Capello, though. Candela forced to come back and help out from midfield. The flag was up for offside, but play goes on because Roma have the ball, and that's good advantage played by Mr. Cesari. This is Lima. That's an astute pass to Batistuta. Well, this time the handball decision is given. And rightly so. Gabriel Batistuta, 31 years of age now. This is an earlier offside for Juventus. And we see right there that clearly Alessandro Del Piero was onside. So a couple of decisions a little bit dubious in the opening stages of the game. As Totti tries to line up a shot. Blocked by O'Neill. That's a brilliant pass from Totti to find a way through to Lima, and a good cross from him. No one at the back post, though, but coming in is Christian Panucci. He'll have room to get in his own cross, and a player went down there. It was Batistuta again, under the challenge from Thuram. Well, there have been 3 or 4 claims for penalties already in this game. Certainly when it comes to decisions from the referee that are a little bit questionable. Juventus have had their fair share already this season. It was a little bit hard from that replay to see if there was anything in that one. But late penalties against Chievo Verona, and a few days later against Celtic in the Champions League, and Marcello Lippi's side were fortunate in both cases, but they were scored in both cases. And Juve went on to win to collect 3 points. And coaches will tell you that throughout a season, decisions do even themselves out for and against you. Let's take a look to see what happened here to Batistuta. Well, contact made, no doubt, but just how much is questionable. Well, that's wonderfully brought down by Del Piero. Roma closing down very well, I must say. Juve just going a long way back before they can go forward. Here's Thuram. Not one to panic on the ball, Lilian Thuram. Well, O'Neill fouled this time in midfield. It's a game that hasn't really found its free-flowing rhythm. Lots of stop-start. Aldair with the first yellow of the match. Clumsy-looking challenge there on Fabian O'Neill. 36 years of age now, Aldair, still playing in Serie A. That's a marvellous testimony to the man's fitness. Bisotto goes back. And that goes into touch very lamely indeed by the Juventus side that is looking just a little bit jaded. Right in front of the referee. Giuliano fouls Batistuta. There's already been one coach in Rome has lost his job this season. Dino Zoff sacked unceremoniously by Lazio. I tend to think that Fabio Capello's post-title honeymoon period will be considerably longer yet. And they do need him to start getting some results and start getting them quickly. Batistuta again fouled in a game that's got very much a staccato feel about it so far. Just under 10 minutes to go until the half-time break. Gianluigi Buffon checking that he's got everything to his liking. No Montero or Davids today for Juve, both suspended for 2 rounds. Davids' suspension came after video evidence of a challenge off the ball in the game against Lecce a week ago. Now that Juve wall is just a little bit too far forward, as you can see by the extra markings on show there. And that's over the wall, it's in the goal! Gabriel Batistuta opens his account for the season in fine fashion. Well, he was quite a long way out, really, even for a shooter of his capacity. I'm not sure whether it clipped someone on the way through. Certainly seemed to fool the goalkeeper, Gianluigi Buffon, who got a hand on the ball, but not a strong hand. It didn't touch anyone. Just the curve on the ball was enough to fool the goalkeeper. Well, Batigol is back in business. And that's great news for Roma. Lima this time the culprit with the foul on Salas. In fact, it's Assunção. They do look very similar. So Salas is really hurt, as you can see. And he'll have time to get some treatment in just a few moments, as the half-time whistle is not too far away now. So O'Neill very much to the fore when it comes to set pieces for Juventus. Plenty in the area for Juve, and no one got a touch on that, I don't think. Certainly no defender. Well, many were wondering what it would take to get Roma out of their early season sluggishness. Perhaps a match against their biggest title challengers will do it. Try and jolt them into some kind of form. They've certainly got a goal on the board ahead of Juventus in their first half. I'm not quite sure that I would say that they are playing brilliantly, but in games such as this, it's the result that matters 100%, and at half-time the scoreboard reads in favour of Roma, thanks to the first goal of the season for Gabriel Batistuta. Half-time here, Juventus 0, Roma 1.
Coming up later in the show, Inter on top in its quest to recapture the glory days. Dario Hubner's double inspires Piacenza. Chievo causes another shock in Udine. And Verona moves into the top half of the table. That's coming up later, but first, let's rejoin Paul Williams.
Welcome back to Turin. The news at half-time is that Tacchinardi has been replaced by David Trezeguet for Juventus, so it's 3 up front for Marcello Lippi's side. No adjustments from Fabio Capello. That's an awkward high ball for the goalkeeper to deal with, but he jumped above the opponent and punched it clear nicely. Roma had their first win of the season just last week with a 2-1 victory at home against Fiorentina. Totti and Panucci the scorers. That's a mishit shot from Salas. Zabina is trying to play his way out, and Roma can't seem to get hold of the ball at the moment. Tomasi in strong. Pasotto. Despite the fact that Juventus have been fairly tame in attack so far in this game, their fans haven't stopped singing throughout the entire game. How much will they miss Zinedine Zidane? It's probably just a little bit early in the season to answer that question. An opportunity now with Trezeguet on as a substitute for Lippi, perhaps to take a look at the front two of Trezeguet and Salas, with Del Piero in just behind them. Sao just sending Panucci on his way. Well, Panucci checked his run, and rather Totti checked his run, and Panucci thought he was still going. Well, for Juventus, Alessandro Del Piero was absolutely brilliant in midweek against Rosenborg in the Champions League. It was a 1-1 draw. And the shot comes in, good save. Surprisingly, Totti given an awful lot of time there to line up his effort on goal, and Tomasi with another one and another top save. Here's Batistuta. Oh, he's put it wide. Well, it's certainly Roma that are asking the questions of the opposition goalkeeper. First Totti, then Tomasi with the shot. Buffon couldn't hold either of them, and he almost paid a price there when Batistuta got onto the rebound, and he just pulled his shot wide. Well, that's brilliantly done by Panucci, who is very much looking to part on the right-hand side of midfield. Totti, it's laid back. Here's Assunção. Well, I think the decision there is going to be a yellow for Assunção for diving. Saying that the ball was played. Challenge there by Maresca. There's no doubt that the ball was played. It was actually Fabian O'Neill doing the work in the defence. There was contact on the ball, not much, mind you. I don't quite know whether I agree that it was a dive. So Nedved, who has been a spectator for much of this game, with a touch there. Del Piero trying to find a way across. The Roma defence holding solid, and now they have an opportunity on the counter-attack with Totti. He's got Batistuta going to the right. That's a nice ball. Joining quickly on the left-hand side is Lima, but it's slowed up now. It's Panucci outside Totti. Panucci, Totti. Well, he just tried to play a more complicated pass to Batistuta. Panucci had a 40 or 50-metre run outside Totti there, unrewarded. Del Piero putting in Pasotto. Good cross to the back post, Trezeguet. There hasn't been too much to really get enthused about in attack for Juventus today. That was their most promising move of the game, when Nedved involved just played it nicely to the back post. Trezeguet unable to get any real power in the header. And just when Juventus appear to be finding something, they give the ball away and just lose their rhythm somewhat. Thuram is very much on top of his game at the moment, if some of his teammates aren't. will take the throw straight to Thuram. Not one to rush his clearances, Thuram, and that was just a pass back to Buffon that I don't think the goalkeeper would have been too enthused about. Still Juventus 0, Roma 1. Is this the result to get Fabio Capello's men back into some kind of form and some kind of confidence? Zanoni fouled. One of the new faces in at Juventus this season, Christian Zanoni, signed from Atalanta, where his twin brother Damiano plays. Well, Panucci no doubt getting contact on the ball, but also with the man as well. And a sliding tackle from behind like that will always raise the eyebrows of the referee. So free kick to Juve. That's very deep. There's a spare player, hits the post. Well, Batistuta will clear the ball away for Roma, but they were really led off there, the champions. No marking at the back post as Lima runs the ball out. Well, the cross sailed over everybody's head. Free at the back post, though, was Giuliano, and it went straight into the post. And a couple of Juventus players down there, one of them off the ball. Del Piero was fouled when he had the ball. That's the decision from the referee. Didn't see the first incident. A clear trip there by Zabina. Nedved was the player to be clipped as he was running down the left. You just saw it at the top of your screen there. He tangled with Panucci. Hard to tell if there was anything in it or not. The referee certainly didn't think so. Either that or he didn't see it. Del Piero, clever little ball. And a good header. Well, Juventus are getting closer. That's their most effective shot on goal in the entire match. And here they come again, looking for another. Deflection, they got them for the goalkeeper, and it's gone in the net, but it won't count. Trezeguet was offside. Well, they are really pressing their claims here for an equaliser. Salas involved, who was offside. Del Piero's shot. When he took the shot, there was Salas offside in the centre. It was played across wonderfully there for Trezeguet to finish, but the flag had been up for several seconds by then. Well, there's another player down. And the referee, well, he's saying it was Batistuta, and he's given him a red card. Well, just look at the protestations from Candela, Batistuta and Totti. They'll have to be careful here, manhandling the referee. But Gabriel Batistuta, the first half goal scorer, has been sent off here in the Stadio dell'Alpi. Well, they're protesting the decision all the way with the fourth official. It won't do any good though, of course, as we all know. The emotions are running very high indeed as he's escorted off. Batistuta jumped and put his elbow across the face of Michele Padamati. Well, there's no doubt he led with the elbow. Padamati went down heavily. The two combined involved a red card. It wasn't a second yellow from the referee, it was a straight red. So he felt that the incident that we've just seen was enough in itself to be sent off. So Juventus have time, and they have an extra bit of enthusiasm for the cause thanks to the sending off of Gabriel Batistuta. Cafu helping it on. That's a great ball if it was intended. Here's Totti, a little chip from him. And Buffon wanted to save a bit of time and save a corner by not tipping it over the crossbar, which he could have easily have done. He took a chance and just carried it down and carried on. Foul there on Panamati by Cafu. Little chip from Totti was definitely going under the crossbar. I just wonder if there'd been a Montella or a Del Vecchio lurking. A second striker, in other words, a second out-and-out striker anyway, that perhaps Buffon wouldn't have got away with that. Everyone pushing on now for Juventus. Nedved. O'Neill. Oh, that's a brilliant pass. Played across. Well taken by Antonioli. Well, getting ready to come on is Vincenzo Montella. Well, the build-up play there from Juventus was quite wonderful. Every player bar Buffon in the Roma half. Thuram takes it quickly. Remember, Roma down to 10 men. Can they hang on? Nedved swinging in a dangerous-looking ball away by Zabina. Now Roma with an opportunity. If they can get forward and get forward quickly. Zabina carrying the ball on. He's got players free on both sides. A lot of space on the right side. This is Assunção. It's a cross. Oh, Montella. It's gone in eventually, but he was offside. Well, I thought for a moment there he'd missed an absolute sitter, which he did really, but it was offside. So that's the saving grace for Vincenzo Montella. And immediately Juventus go down the other end. And that's straight into the arms of Antonioli. Well, that was offside, no doubt about it. Well, the second half has been quite enthralling after a fairly lacklustre affair in the first 45 minutes. Trezeguet left it! Del Piero lifted it over the crossbar. Oh, a great dummy by David Trezeguet. Del Piero snapped at it somewhat. Maybe he had just a fraction more time than he realised, but all in one movement he half-volleyed it over the bar. Thuram, so powerful in the air, too powerful according to the referee there. Del Piero just waved away by Graziano Cesari. The clock ticking extraordinarily quickly if you're a Juventus supporter, and equally slowly if Roma are your team. Nice run forward this from Zanoni, still going. Very good ball as well, waiting at the back post with 3 or 4 players. Trezeguet managed to get a touch but couldn't do anything with it. Tomasi coming away. Taken quickly, Assunção. Well, Cafu willing to chase and keeps it in. He could have left it go for a corner, but this is great play by Cafu. Good chance this for Roma. Loose ball. There it is. And that's the 3 points for Roma. And it's Assunção all alone who clinches the game for Fabio Capello. Well, real credit must go to the Brazilian fullback Cafu, who kept the move going when he had no need to really, especially at this stage of the game when players tend to think of playing for time rather than playing for an extra goal. But he struck it so sweetly, didn't he? Just bouncing for him, unmarked, kept it down only just into the roof of the net, and just too much power for Buffon. Well, Roma's season has certainly been kick-started. This really a result that they can build on. Juventus shocked after their promising start to the season to go down at home. Gabriel Batistuta scored in the first half, was red-carded in the second. Juventus tried and tried. They had the ball in the back of the net. They hit the frame of the goal, but they couldn't find a way through. Juventus 0, Roma 2.
Ma io ho detto dopo la partita contro l'Anderlecht che avrebbe dovuto far tutti i conti con questa Roma, perché la vedevo in crescita, la vedevo determinata, avevamo lasciato alle spalle momenti di difficoltà e queste partite lo stanno dimostrando.